Have you ever wondered how a six-day conflict could change the face of the Middle East? We're stepping back to the late 60s, a time of mounting tensions between Israel and its Arab neighbors, particularly Egypt, Jordan, and Syria. The atmosphere was thick with unease, stoked by the Soviet Union's false reports about Israeli troops massing on the Syrian border. These allegations pushed Egypt into a swift response. They mobilized their forces in the Sinai Peninsula and shut down the Straits of Tiran to Israeli ships, a move that only heightened the already simmering tensions. Meanwhile, diplomatic efforts were in full swing, attempting to pacify the rising storm. Yet these efforts fell short, the voices of reason drowned out by the drumbeats of war. As the world watched with bated breath, the stage was set for a conflict that would shape the future of the region. The fuse was lit, and the countdown to the Six-Day War had begun. On June 5, 1967, Israel launched a preemptive strike against Egypt, marking the beginning of the Six-Day War, a day that would forever change the face of the Middle East. In a bold and unexpected move, Israel initiated a surprise attack on the Egyptian Air Force. This was a critical moment, as it gave Israel the upper hand and crippled Egypt's air capabilities. The swift and well-executed strike was a significant factor in determining the course of the conflict. Following the airstrike, Israel launched a rapid ground offensive. The momentum was with them, and their forces moved swiftly across the battlefields. Over the course of the war, Israel managed to capture the Sinai Peninsula and the Gaza Strip from Egypt, the West Bank from Jordan, and the Golan Heights from Syria. This was a war of swift movements and decisive actions. The world watched in surprise as Israel, in just 6 short days, managed to seize control of territories that more than doubled its size. Finally, on June 10, 1967, a ceasefire was declared. The guns fell silent, but the ramifications of the conflict were far-reaching. The territorial gains by Israel during the Six-Day War would continue to shape the political and geographical landscape of the Middle East for years to come. In just 6 days, Israel had won a decisive victory, greatly expanding its territory. The Six-Day War, brief as it was, had profound implications. The bubbling pre-war tensions exploded into a conflict that, despite its short duration, drastically reshaped the Middle East. The war's aftermath saw territorial shifts that spurred further conflicts, but also paved the way for historic peace treaties. It is a stark reminder of how swiftly and dramatically the world can change, how a mere 6 days can echo through decades. And to think all this change stemmed from a war that lasted less than a week, that's the power and the tragedy of conflict.